You should always report to work rested and physically fit to perform your job. Wear clean clothing suitable for the weather and your work. Torn or loose clothing, cuffs, and ties can be hazardous. Minimum clothing is full t-shirt and full-length trousers. Wear good work shoes, preferably safety shoes. Tennis shoes are not allowed. Enter and exit buildings only at designated areas that have overhead protection. Use gloves when welding, handling chemicals, rough material, or items with sharp edges. Jewelry should never be worn on the work site. Never cool soft drinks or food in the water kegs or ice storage boxes. These are for drinking only. Horseplay, roughhousing, and practical jokes can lead to painful injuries. Always keep these activities away from your job site. Fighting on the job will result in immediate dismissal. Possession, consumption, or use of alcohol or illegal drugs, including marijuana, is not permitted. Anyone violating this policy will be subject to immediate termination. You must pass a drug screen immediately following any accident or any time your supervisory personnel suspect that you are under the influence. Company policy requires you to report any injury to your foreman or company supervisor the day of the injury, even if you don't see a doctor that day. Report any unsafe acts, conditions, or equipment to your foreman immediately. We encourage you to attend all safety meetings so you can hear the latest information about the project and how to avoid potential dangers. Before entering new work areas, familiarize yourself with any unusual hazards. Place barricades to warn of traffic, overhead dangers, open footing excavation, or the swing radius of a crane cab. Always keep materials orderly. If necessary, use tie-downs or supports to prevent materials from falling. Remove nails from crates and lumber immediately. Clean up oil, liquid, or other spilled or dropped materials on walkways, stairs, ladders, or floors. Place your lunch bags and other trash in the proper receptacles. All materials should be kept clear of exits and entrances of stairs, hoists, and elevator landings. Have all cords, welding leads, and hoses placed safely to avoid tripping hazards. Hard hats and eye protection must be worn at all times. If yours is damaged, report it to your supervisor immediately. Floor holes must be covered and secured. When there is a danger of objects falling and striking workers below, contact your supervisor. Visitors are allowed on the job site for emergencies only and must contact the superintendent before entering. Tell any children or sightseers to leave so they will not be hurt. Direct any visitors without hard hats to the job office for proper clearance. Inspect your safety equipment daily. Report and return any defective equipment to your foreman immediately. Never take a chance when safety is an issue. Suitable safety glasses, goggles, hoods, or face shields will be provided and must be worn when using grinders, table saws, jackhammers, lead pots, chipping guns, masonry saws, welding or cutting torches, nailers, powder-actuated tools, CAD weld operations, or when filing or buffing any material. Always wear hearing protection when working in noisy areas. Respirators should be used when spray painting, handling cement, lime, or when exposed to steady dust hazards, and also when welding or cutting in confined places, or on galvanized or metal-coated materials. Always wear your safety harness when exposed to falling hazards. Check it daily. Return any defective equipment to your foreman immediately. Remember, tie-offs must be able to support 5,400 pounds. Your foreman is there to help you. He can explain any safety rules you don't understand, and he will be glad to show you the correct and safe way to perform any task. You can avoid back strains by following a few simple rules. If an object is too heavy or bulky to lift, get help or use the proper equipment to assist you. Get a clear footing and stand with feet shoulder distance apart, then squat down. Keep the object close to you and lift with your legs, keeping your back straight. Keep your body from twisting while carrying the object and set it down by reversing the procedure, keeping your back straight, lowering with your legs. Check for a clear path and make sure you have a clear view at all times while carrying the object. When teaming with someone for large loads, have one person give the commands. And when teaming for long loads, make sure you carry the loads on the same shoulder. Make sure to inspect tools before using. Do not use tools with split, broken, or loose handles. Always use the right tool for the job. Never carry tools up or down a ladder. Use a hand line or tool belt. When not using the tools, lay them down in a safe place so they won't fall on or trip a fellow worker. Before swinging a sledgehammer, axe, or a pick, make sure the area behind you is clear. Only qualified personnel should operate or service power tools. Always inspect your tools before using and report conditions to your foreman. Never use a defective tool. Keep extension cords and power cords off of stairs and ladders and clear of walkways. Never point a compressed air tool or power tool at yourself or anyone else. You must have a valid certificate card with you in order to operate any powder-actuated tool. Inspect all ladders daily before using, and use only sturdy ladders on a firm level base at a 4-to-1 pitch. Make sure access at top and bottom is clear, and never place a ladder in front of a door unless it is locked, barricaded, or guarded by another employee. Make sure extension ladder locking clamps are in place and the ladder is tied off before using. Have someone hold the ladder while you tie it off. The ladder should reach at least 36 inches above the landing for easy access. Never try to get additional height from a ladder by placing it on makeshift cribbing such as boxes or boards. Never go on a swing scaffold unless you are authorized to do so. Always wear a safety harness, and when working on a scaffold with a lifeline, always attach your safety harness to it. If the scaffold is over 10 feet high, a handrail, mid-rail, and toe board must be used. Never remove guardrails or toe boards from a scaffold. Never climb the cross bracing of a scaffold. Use a ladder or ladder-type scaffold in frame. And never use makeshift substitutes like boxes or barrels. Never remove or modify a guardrail unless you have permission from your supervisor. If you must remove guardrails around a floor opening or building perimeter, make certain they are replaced each time you leave the area and immediately on completion of work. Consider all wires live until checked and proven otherwise. Never remove or cut the ground prong from a plug of any electrical tool or extension cord, and only plug into matching receptacles. All electrical power tools and extension cords should have rubber insulation. Damaged cords or tools should be replaced immediately or repaired by qualified personnel only. Store oxygen cylinders away from flame, flammable or combustible materials, oil or grease, and never within 20 feet of fuel gas cylinders. When hoisting cylinders, use a skip box, net, or cart. Never hook onto the valve cap. Always turn cylinder valves off when not in use or when unattended for an extended period, such as lunchtime. Make sure cylinders are secured in an upright position, whether full or empty, and keep the valve caps on. Keep oily rags and gloves away from oxygen cylinders. This could easily cause an explosion. Always know the location of fire extinguishers and how to use them. When using a fire extinguisher, remember to use the pass system. Pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. If you use an extinguisher, tell your foreman so that it can be refilled immediately. Be sure there is a fire watch before welding or cutting above combustible materials. Be especially careful when disposing of cigarette butts and matches. Always extinguish these items thoroughly. Do not start any machinery unless you have been authorized to do so. Before starting machinery, be sure safety guards are in place and fellow employees are in the clear. Never adjust or repair machinery while it is running, and never refuel an engine while it is running. Always operate machinery within its rated capacity. Operate all equipment at safe speeds, and always land the blade, bucket, or fork when the equipment is not in use, especially at the end of your shift. If you use a company vehicle, check daily to see that the brakes, turn indicators, headlights, and stoplights are working properly before each use. Wear your seatbelt and never exceed 15 miles per hour when driving on the job site. Do not ride on vehicles or mobile equipment except on designated passenger platforms or seats. Be seated inside truck beds and never sit on side rails or tailgates. Crane operators should never exceed manufacturer's rated load capacity. Barricade the swing radius of the rig cab and never swing a load over anyone. Employees should always stay clear of swinging or suspended loads. Remember, it is illegal to use a crane within 10 feet of a power line. Never act as a flagman or signal a crane unless told to do so by your foreman. Crane operators should not take signals from anyone who has not been designated by his foreman to do so, or from anyone not using standard signals for crane operation found in your handbook. When digging a trench, place soil at least 2 feet away from the edge of the trench. Remove surface rocks, clods or dirt, or other debris that could fall into the trench. Make sure an access ladder is within 25 feet of any workman, and never enter a trench over 5 feet deep unless it is shored or sloped. Your employer has a written hazard communication program, and in accordance with OSHA Standard 1926.59, the following items are available to you upon request.